Johnny's Sheep doing something from the Blue Ribbon Cookbook. This is written by a lady I've known forever. Her name's Diane Roupe, and she compiled this huge cookbook of blue ribbon recipes from state fairs, mainly the Iowa State Fair. So I found a recipe in here I'm going to try. It is called, I got it marked here, round steak braised with onions. It's a blue ribbon recipe. It's round steak, which we had in the freezer, and you use onion soup mix, a couple of onions, I got a couple of vidalias here, 3 red potatoes sliced up, some flour, some salt and pepper, and you start off by frying it in a little vegetable shortening. So let's get started. Alright, so there's our round steak out of the freezer, and that's nice. It's tenderized, it's a lean one. This is from our side of beef that we get. I'm just going to cut that in half. So that's how we'll start. Now we need to season it. This is 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So we're going to use half of it on one side. Just kind of like this. And then we have 1/4 cup of flour. Right here, we're just going to kind of spread this evenly on it. It's going to be coated with a little flour, and that'll really come in handy. It'll be great with brownie, but it'll really come in handy with the gravy portion later. Now this is not a quick dish. This takes 90 minutes, an hour and a half to make, because you're braising it. So it's got to cook low and slow for a long time to get it good and tender. So flip it over, season it with the salt and pepper, the remaining salt and pepper, and the remaining flour, which isn't seasoning, it's just coating. We'll head to the stove, get this whole thing started. So I did 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening. I did Crisco. Make sure it's good and hot on the bottom of that pan. And these babies are going in. Seasoned, floured, round steak. That's going to fill that pan. And we're going to cook them about 6 minutes on side 1. This is phase 1 of this project. So there we are. It's been 6 minutes on this side on medium-high heat. I so want to put some more salt and pepper on there, but I'm not going to. I'm following the recipe. Get some oil over on that side. Ooh, golden brown. Get some oil on this side. Look at all that good stuff in the bottom. We're going to do 5 minutes on this side on medium-high heat. Alright, it's been 5 minutes on side 2. I'm going to go from medium-high to low, my lowest setting. I have a cup of hot water. I'm supposed to pour it around the outside, not on top. So go around the outside, in the middle, and I've lowered it to low. I'm just going to cover it and let that simmer for 30 minutes. Timer, 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, we're going to add 2 onions. We love Vidalia onions. They're so good. And so that's what we almost always use exclusively. So I'm going to slice these. This is just 2 medium onions. It says 2 onions. So that's what we're going to try. So we're 30 minutes in. We have to add our onions. These are 2 just like medium sliced Vidalia onions. Just want to separate them. But this is going to cover the whole. This is a lot of onions. But we're fans of onions. Especially the Vidalia. Cover it. And we need to add another cup of water. I'll go around the outside. Cover and simmer another 30 minutes. So now I have 3 red potatoes. I need to slice these about 3/8 of an inch thick. You leave the skin on. I did rinse them off. 3/8 of an inch. So let me just check this one right here. Yeah, I think that's about right. All right, so that's another 30 minutes in. That's 60 total. There's our onions and our steak. Now we got the 3 sliced 3/8 inch thick potatoes, and we do those around the outside, overlap them, whatever. It says overlap, and they just want them around the outside, so we're going to try and honor that. And we'll season these potatoes with a little bit of salt and pepper. I know, Phoebe, this is really going to be good, but it has onions, and that's not good for puppies. Try and keep all the potatoes on the outside. Somehow the recipe says, oh, the potatoes can get crispy, but I'm not thinking they will. We'll see. And it says you can add more water if you need to right now, but I think this looks like it has plenty of water. So get the taters in there. All supposed to be around the outside. That's what I'm trying to do.
This is a little fancier than you normally do.
Well, it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty detailed. Okay, and then it says add some salt and pepper on the potatoes, which they will need. So there's a mixture of salt and pepper all the way around on the potatoes. And guess what we do now? We cover and simmer for 30 minutes. Oops, so I almost forgot. I have the package of onion soup mix that goes over the whole thing right now. So I'm going over potatoes, onions, round steak. It all goes over right now. Then we'll cover for 30 minutes. So there we are, 90 minutes in, it's all done. We're ready to plate that up. There we go. It takes a long time, I'm not gonna lie. 90 minutes, braised round steak with onions and potatoes, and we're supposed to put it on the plate, the steak, just like that. Then we add the potatoes around the outside. Potatoes around the outside, kind of like that. And the gravy on top. That looks like a pretty hearty meal, I will tell you that. Let's go on top. And there we go. Out of the Blue Ribbon Cookbook. That's the whole thing right there. I'm just going to get a little bit of the steak. Oh, that's tender, I can tell cutting through it. Steak with some potatoes and onions, onion gravy. You know, it looked like a lot of onions when I made it, but I think it's perfect. Let's give it a shot. Steak, potatoes, really hot. Done very well. Now the recipe did say put the crispy ones on the outside, but you can see there was enough moisture in there and water or gravy or broth. Didn't get crispy. Let's try the onions and the steak. The star of the show is really good. Very tender for round steak. And with that onion soup mix, great flavor. I'll give this a thumbs up. This is a good one, even though it takes a long time, about 2 hours total time. You got to plan ahead. But it's very good. Page 140 out of the Blue Ribbon Cookbook. Thumbs up with John H. Sheep.